I'm demanding truth and transparency from my nation.
Yes.
We are all tired of being told that we should just believe in the system. And I want to tell you that when I come here, I come from a very specific investigation. I've been investigating the safety of vaccines for over 5 years. After being a producer on the CBS talk show, The Doctors, I came upon the story of a whistleblower inside the CDC named Dr. William Thompson that came forward and said, we are committing scientific fraud at the most important government agency in the world. We're lying to the public about the safety of vaccines. That started a journey I never planned on being on. I wish I could tell you I believed in the CDC. I wish I could tell you that Tony Fauci cares about your safety. I wish I could tell you that this pandemic really is dangerous and the reason you're wearing masks all over this country is to protect each other. I wish all of that was true so that I wouldn't have to be here. I wish I could believe that voting machines worked and that people cared and that pollsters were allowed to oversee votes in a free country. But none of this is happening. We have a problem in the United States of America, which I believe is the greatest nation in the world. Everything is becoming a religious belief, whether it's politics or science. There's no math, there's no data, there's no proof any longer. And those of us that demand that proof, that data, we're being cut off of YouTube, we're being cut off of Facebook, we're being cut off of Twitter for simply asking the important questions that need to be asked. Are vaccines safe? Is this really a pandemic? Are people really dying? Really important questions. I keep being interviewed by Wall Street Journal, New York Times. How dare you question? You realize you're putting people at risk by questioning the COVID-19 vaccine. Are you kidding me? I'm the one putting people at risk? I'm watching a news media promote a pharmaceutical product, a technology that has never ever before been injected into human beings in the history of this planet. Something so unlike any vaccine that has ever been made. 8 weeks into a safety trial that should be going for 20 years. To determine that it doesn't not just affect the fertility of the women that are getting it, but for the fertility of their daughters and their daughters after that. I'm not anti-science. This vaccine may be the future of health. But talk to me in 50 years when you have made sure that it's safe and not affecting our DNA and the health and future of our species. It is insane that mainstream news organizations are promoting a product made by an industry that pays out hundreds of billions of dollars for lying about one word: safety. Merck, Pfizer, Sanofi-Aventis, all of these companies pay out hundreds of billions of dollars for murdering people all the time. We watch it in the news. And we're supposed to trust them and their safety studies on a product and let them eject out of their safety trials after 8 weeks. And now innocent people are being lined up, walking to their potential death, to the destruction of their bodies, a potential for future autoimmune disease. And mark my words right here today, I am stating it. In the next 2 or 3 years, you will see the greatest increase in autoimmune disease the world has ever seen, brought on by our government health agencies and every single news agency that promoted this product. They must be remembered for the crimes against humanity that are being committed today. I will not forget, and I will not stop reporting. I will not stop standing with the heroes that will be on this stage today. This had to happen. We have to recognize that all of this is exactly where we needed to be. You have to know when you've lost your way. A lot of times I say life is like walking in the dark and you're blind and you don't know where you're going until you finally smash your nose into a wall. And for the first time ever, you're focused and you know what? I know I'm going that way. We all know where we're going. We're going the opposite direction that we're being led now, because we're being led off of a cliff and the destruction of our humanity and of our freedom. And we are saying no more. But I have news for you. This is not just about an election in the United States of America. This really has nothing to do with Joe Biden and Donald Trump. The entire world is at war against a pharmaceutical, drug-driven takeover of our lives. Every country in the world is masked. Everyone is being humiliated. They are making the air we breathe illegal. Let me say that again. They are making the air we breathe on this planet illegal. And I'm the conspiracy theorist? Look, whether you believe in God and the idea that you were born and created in the image and likeness of God, which is what I believe, I don't think God messed up. I don't think God didn't foresee futures of bacteria and viruses. I don't think there's some coronavirus that can override the brilliant immune system that is born into us perfectly and perfectly whole. And by the way, the science backs me up too, because 99.99% of us are showing how great God's design is, because this virus does nothing to us. Your health is your responsibility, not mine. It's not my responsibility. I am not going to mask myself because you smoked cigarettes your whole life, or ate like crap, drank bad water and soda and everything else. If you're a Dorito eating, McDonald's eater, go right ahead. It's a free country. But when you're dying on your deathbed and a cold is able to kill you, do not rob me of my air. It may be too late for you, but it's not for me. And I have news for you. If your health is my responsibility, I'm not waiting till you're on your deathbed. I'm going to stand outside the grocery store. I'm going to stand outside the McDonald's, and we're going to make that food that's killing you illegal. We'll make cigarettes illegal. We'll make alcohol illegal. We'll crawl up your behind and destroy freedom in the one way that it might actually protect your health. That's not the future I want. It better not be the one that you want. But if you're telling me your health is my responsibility, we're getting started a whole lot earlier here, folks. Welcome to the treadmill. Welcome to working out. Welcome to avoiding all the pesticides and herbicides on your food. Welcome to organic food eating. Welcome to clean, clear water with no fluoride. Welcome to all those products that were not approved by the FDA and CDC and said to be safe. The ones that were made by God the way God created them. When I look out at this audience all over Washington, D.C., why is it that Trump supporters don't wear masks? I still can't figure that out.
They already know something.
I don't know what they know, but I'm standing there with them. And by the way, welcome to this gigantic super spreader event, what they're going to call this. I've been to more super spreader events than almost anyone I know, and I don't just go to them. I don't act like Donald Trump. I don't get to just stand here. I'm hugging all of you everywhere I go. I've hugged tens of thousands of people this year, and I am still alive to tell it. Here is the truth. The science is settled all over the world. Every scientific study is showing us there is no such thing as asymptomatic spread. It doesn't exist. It was a machination by these lunatics this year. Let's make the healthy people the dangerous ones on this planet. Too many people have bought into it. But here's the fact, whether it's the study in China or Denmark or those all over the world-renowned scientists of the world, the virologists, the epidemiologists, the economists, they're all seeing the same thing. Healthy people do not spread disease. For the first time in history, we are quarantining healthy people. That is not science. And by the way, it's a total and complete failure. They tried it. I know. for the first time in history, instead of letting a cold run its course, which is what a coronavirus is, by the way, even if this happens to be a bad cold this year, which it appears to be, we let it run its course. We let the Spanish flu run its course. We let MERS run its course. We let SARS run its course for the first time. But what happened? We all lived. But now we thought, let's try something new. Let's try to hide from a virus. Let's try to hide the world from a cold virus. And the only thing they've achieved is to keep this coronavirus, SARS-CoV-2, they have managed to keep it alive a longer time than any coronavirus has survived in the history of this world. They've managed to make it last an entire year so it slams into 2020's coronavirus this winter. I've said this from the beginning. If the death rate of a virus is 0.26%, which this is, and a 0.26% death rate, meaning 99.74% of us or better, I mean, that's really the weakest among us. All of the youth, all of the 20-year-olds, 30, 40, you're like 99.999% survival rate. If we have lowered the bar to 0.26%, warrants the destruction of your nation, warrants the shutdown of your world, warrants the masking and covering up and hiding your smiling face, then it is over. I have news for you, folks. Masks aren't coming off.
That's right.
They're already telling you they're not. They're promoting a vaccine that proved even the WHO says doesn't stop transmission. So all of you that were masked up and waiting in California for that vaccine to come and save the day so you could get back to breathing your air, I have news for you. You've been sold a lie. None of this has anything to do with health. It has to do with the control and destruction of our connection to not only God, but to each other. And by the way, even if you don't believe in God, even if you don't believe in divine design, you're supposed to believe in science and the idea that evolution has designed you perfectly to be able to handle the viruses and bacteria that have lived on this planet since the dawn of man. Do you actually believe that not only was SARS-CoV-2 in 2019 so deadly we have to cover up, but the new mutations coming out of Europe are even deadlier? Oh, and the flu is super deadly too, we gotta watch out. Oh, and the WHO is saying, oh, by the way, we haven't even seen the big one yet. What happened? Did a hole just open up on the planet and now suddenly the human being is not going to be able to walk and breathe the air? Only my dog, my cat, the elk, the deer, they'll all do fine. But human beings, for some reason, we have lost our battle with viruses and bacteria. The only way we lose that battle is if we stop fighting it.
That's right.
The only way we get fat and die is if we stop exercising and stressing our muscles. We must have immune systems. Our children must breathe this air. If we told everyone in Mexico to stop drinking their own water, within one generation, none of them would be able to drink their water. If we continue to tell our children, don't breathe this air, we will be wearing helmets as though we have moved to Mars. Our immune systems depend on the constant contact with bacteria and viruses.
That's right.
That is the science. That is the truth. That is what all the data shows us.
Yep.
And I have news for anyone that questions me and every article that wants to be written about me and the truth, and those that speak it up here. On my show, thehighwire.com, all I do is present my science to you. I send you a newsletter so you can read every peer-reviewed scientific article that I am referencing. I back up what I'm saying with proof. Why isn't Tony Fauci showing us the proof that vaccines work? Why isn't Tony Fauci showing us how this vaccine worked or doesn't work? Why are they telling pregnant women to take a vaccine that didn't have a single pregnant woman in the trial? Why are we putting up with this? If they had the science, show it. I'll show you mine. You show me yours. We need proof. We don't trust you anymore.
That's right.
I'll stand in my truth and I'll prove my point because I know I'm right. And if this election really is real, those that believe they have been elected should be standing with all of us. You want us to come together as a nation? Stand for this nation. Stand for those of us that don't trust you anymore. Prove yourself once again. Prove how great we are. Open up the Dominion voting machines. Bring in the best computer scientists in the world. You can bring half from your side and half from ours and put it on television and let us see what really happened there. Bring all the thousands of affidavits forward and let us see what these people have to say. If you're right, you should be able to prove you're right. If you have to shut us down, if you have to shut down our Twitter, shut down our YouTube, shut down our Facebook, threaten us, and destroy our ability to ask the important questions, then we are truly lost. And a war has become. It's become our time. We are divided. Only data, only truth, only transparency can save us now. And anyone that fights and hides the truth should be marked in history as those that fought to destroy the dream of the United States of America, that fought to dim the light of freedom that the United States of America has always represented to the world. There is a desire around this world. They're all using the same language. Great reset. Build back better. I've never watched American politicians using slogans written in other nations by international organizations. This is a scary time. But it's a beautiful time because it's bringing us together. It's demanding more from us. And it's saying to those of us that still believe you are needed, we are here for a reason. I remember reading in my history books the brilliant stories of George Washington crossing frozen rivers with everybody on the verge of death. Watching Martin Luther King stand up for his people against insurmountable odds. That DNA flows through every one of us. We no longer have to be jealous of those moments that tried men's souls and demanded the best of us and created the world we live in. We are being asked right now to do the same thing. No page in no history book that we've ever read said we outnumbered them and the battle lasted about 45 minutes. History is made by brilliant people, individuals who reached down in their souls against what seemed to be insurmountable odds and saved the world. That is what we are here to do. That is what everyone standing in DC believes in. We're no longer alone. We're no longer 5%. We're not 10%. We're at least 50% and probably better. So no matter what happens today in this election, we've got to recognize that our journey has just begun.
Dell 2024.
Wow, Dell Bigtree. How about Dell Bigtree with the high wire? He's right.
He's absolutely right. See, this is Charlene Height, not Marsha Height. He's absolutely right. And these are the messages and the websites and the links that we need to share, because we cannot lose patriots to this pharma-pandered vaccine that is going to target specific groups of our population. We need to band together as humanity and fight this. So we have a lot more speakers for you today. We're so glad that you guys are here.